Hello! So this is going to be a kind of short, hopefully-ish video about my Medtronic sensor and how I get it to work. So I have the Enlite sensors, glucose sensors from Medtronic, and they go with my MiniMed 530G pump. So this is what the sensor looks like in its little boxy thing. And I'm going to take it out and insert it. This is what it looks like when you take it out. It looks kind of like a little leapfrog. And then you take this big thing and you insert the hole over that part and press it all the way down. You hear a little click and then you pull this plasticky part off. Ta-da! And there it is. Maybe you can sort of see, hopefully. Yeah. And so this is my pump. So they're both Medtronic, and I've heard someone asked in the comments, they said that they've had issues with the Medtronic sensor, that it doesn't work that well for them, and I've had issues with it too, especially in the beginning, but I've kind of gotten the sensor to work to a point where it's all right for me. So I'm just going to show you what I do and how I get it to work. Oh, and by the way, I used to insert the sensors on my arms, like the back of my arms, because you have to put it somewhere where you have some body fat. So I would do like right around here, but that kind of got old. I got tired of it. I did some on my abdomen, but I don't like that, especially when you're bending over. It just feels kind of blah. So now I've been doing the outsides of my thighs, kind of like here-ish, and on the other side. It's kind of my favorite spot, although sometimes if you don't get the right area, it does hurt. So that's a warning for when you're inserting it. Hopefully it won't hurt this time, as I'm going to show you. Here's the transmitter just on its little charging port. Gonna take that off. Little green button shows it's ready, fully charged. Okay, so I have this set. I usually sit back on my bed kind of to rest like my muscles in the leg area to kind of loosen them. I'm gonna do my left leg. Okay, now I'm gonna take my alcohol wipe and just clean the outer part of my thigh where I'm going to insert the sensor. I'm gonna do my left thigh like right around here, above my knee, on the side, but not too far to the side because I do sleep on my sides. So just clean that whole area. Let it dry, a little bit at least. Then I usually feel like the side of my hand, and there's not so much muscle, because the needle is obviously going through and I don't want it to go into muscle, which is harder when you're putting it on your thighs, but that's just where I prefer it right now, so that's what I've been doing. So I think I found the area I want. Yeah, right about here. I rest my leg back because I don't want it to be tense when I'm inserting. Okay, and then you press the two green buttons at the same time, and then I'm just gonna hold this inserter thing on my skin for about 10 seconds, it's recommended, so that then the adhesive can kind of stick on. So I'm gonna press the buttons. I breathe in, and then when I breathe out, I press them. Okay. Felt a little pinch, but it's not that bad. Hold it. And then lift up. And now I'm going to show you how I take it off. So there it is. Looking cool. I usually do this with two hands, but for the sake of this video, I'll try it with one. Pull out the little needle. Go like that. Now I'm just going to pull this adhesive part off of the back so then it can stick to my leg. And insert the little transmitter part on here. Because as you'll see it clicks in, this is actually waterproof, so as long as that's clicked in, you don't want to get the inside part wet. You know, if you're cleaning it afterwards, as you can see, mine has some gunk on it from Band-Aids, but it's all good. So my skin, if I use the things that came with the sensor part to hold this part down, in the bottom, onto my leg, my skin gets really irritated, and so I don't use them anymore. I did use them for about a year, but then for some reason my skin started not liking that, so now I just use a Band-Aid, looks like that, to then hold the whole sensor down to my leg. So I will show you. This is not actually the usual Band-Aid I use, but I'm kind of running out of my favorite kind, and they're a bit hard to find, so. Ooh, here we go. Looks like that, kind of like a butterfly. Yes. And now you're going to go into your pump. Press the act button. Go down to sensor. Link to sensor, new sensor. Connect, press act. In about 2 hours, it's going to have you calibrate. But in the meantime, make sure you're using enough sensors and checking your blood sugar. On the days where I change my sensor, because it has to be changed every 6 days, I usually check my blood a whole lot more. So maybe, I don't know, like 6 times in a day where I don't have my sensor. I can't use my sensor. And even when the numbers start coming up on the pump in the graphs from the sensor, I'm still checking my sugar more because the first day it's usually kind of messed up. It's not super accurate. But usually on day 2, I'm on track and things are pretty good. So I will try to keep updating you on that. I didn't film earlier because I was volunteering, but I checked my sugar, it's like 3 hours ago when the pump went off and said to calibrate. Hold on, I'm a little stuck. And now I'm going to try again. So I calibrated it earlier, meaning I pricked my finger and checked the blood with my glucose meter. That was about 3 hours ago and entered that in. And now I'm going to check my blood again and see how accurate what the sensor is saying through the pump actually is. So right now it says 95. I think you can see that, hopefully. I'm going to check my blood and see for sure. Like I said, usually the first day I check it quite a few more times than second, third, fourth day when it's actually usually a lot more accurate, unless I'm having issues with it. That's my dog. Hi, baby. Okay, I'm at 128, so that's not too bad. It's a little bit off, but I'm going to enter it in. Just entered it in. Okay. So that's pretty good for the first day for being fairly close. Now, usually I will check it, you know, more times. I usually do this in the morning. I change my sensor, and if it's pretty inaccurate, if it's more than like, I don't know, 30 or 40 points inaccurate, and I keep checking it like multiple times, then I will update it to the pump. But if it's like kind of in the ballpark, then I won't put it in here just because I don't want to do too much information. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do it more than like 4 times a day. I think I've been told before, calibrating with like your blood checks, your finger pricks. But if it's really off, then I will keep putting it in because I want this thing to be accurate, because that's the whole point of having a CGM in the first place. Hi again. I just ate a bunch of chocolate and I did give insulin, but my pump is saying, my CGM is saying I'm at 139 going up. I'm just gonna check once again to make sure it's accurate and I'm not like way high up in the hundreds or anything like that, or 200s. I don't think so, but I do feel like my sugar is rising. Oh, look how accurate that is. I'm so proud of you. Okay, I'm not gonna enter that in, obviously. It's 4 points off. That's amazing. But yeah, looks like I've done a good job this time. Baby. So the CGM is saying 134, but I usually don't wake up that high. So we're gonna check. And not that that's really high, but I just usually wake up lower, like around 90, 80 to 100-ish usually. Yeah, see? I know. Alright, so I'm gonna update that. And then, oh yeah, I guess I should show. So I press the little B for bolus, and then, oops, oh this is hard doing it through the camera. 90, act, and yes. I'm not eating right now, but I'm about to be. And I'll probably do one more later just to show how it is later in the day. Should be better. Okay, it's now a day later since I've changed my sensor and I just ate, and I'm going to check my blood sugar and make sure that the sensor is accurate. Right now it's saying I'm at 127. And like I said, I just ate, so it might be rising a little bit. And 111. So that's good. See, and 127. And I'm not going to enter it in because that's pretty close, and I gave quite a bit of insulin, so it's covering my meal right now, and I'm not that worried about it. So the CGM helps me a lot, as you can tell, probably. Sometimes it doesn't work the way I exactly want it to, but you kind of have to be patient with it. It can be really annoying sometimes, but find the best spots that work for you. Update it when it's really messed up, especially within the first day. The first day is always the hardest for me. Then after that, it's usually pretty steady. But if you're looking at it and, you know, it's saying you're really high and you don't feel high, maybe you even feel low, definitely check with a finger prick, because being a type 1 diabetic, you probably know your body pretty well, or at least are starting to get to know it well, depending on where you're at. And little disclaimer, I've only had type 1 for 2 years now, and the CGM for a little over a year. Yeah, maybe like a year and a half. So I'm still new to it too, but if you have any questions, please let me know. My camera just died. So thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Thanks. Bye!